Hello, welcome to this Celebration of Life course. This is part 2 on eulogy writing and covers about writing about a person's career and their work. So a little quote for you. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. A nice aspiration. Jobs come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, from pocket money jobs to the enterprises that we undertake as children, to the career that we dreamt of in our youth, trained for, perhaps didn't always achieve. How we make our living and contribute to society often has great importance in our lives. We may have the opportunity to pay tribute to a person's efforts, abilities, and skills. This could be something from national service or military service. We can mention campaigns, promotions and postings, commendations and special mentions, not to forget any decorations and medals. It is often possible to have the flag of service or Union flag on the casket. Some people will have a moving act of remembrance, like the last post played, and even a flag bearer or bugler supplied by the British Legion. When speaking about a person's working life, try to remember that it is not a CV or job application, and sometimes it's better not to mention every job, every place they've worked, and every job title. However, if someone has worked in the same place for a long time, then it's probably good to speak about it. We also may remember if someone has taken part in the work of great importance, especially if it has improved the lives of other people significantly. It's good to mention promotions and achievements. It's also nice to speak of career travels, especially if a person's work has taken them overseas. We can mention if someone has set up their own business. It may be useful to talk about voluntary work, community work, or charity work. Then, of course, there is family work, which involves looking after children, providing for the family, helping with homework, and creative skills like building things, cooking meals, keeping a home and garden. And of course, some children get inspired to follow their parents into the same work. Our aim really is to keep it simple. When talking about a person's workplace, it may be more interesting to speak about the sort of thing that a person did. We can paint a picture with words of how a loved one was valued at work, rather than have a long list of names, addresses, dates and places. It's often better to say something simple like John worked for 35 years as a painter and decorator and gained the reputation for excellent workmanship than John worked for Black Painters and Son from 1982 to 1988. Then he worked for Trent Decorators for a few months in 1988. Then he worked for James & Co. Builders as a decorator from 1988 to... Well, you kind of get the idea. Also, with a military career, it's a good thing to offer a little background information. But really, a long, detailed history lesson full of times and dates is often best avoided. It's often wonderful to ask a colleague to speak about someone's career. However, please be mindful that the service may be relatively short, so do offer them a time limit. Be aware that some people do like to spin a yarn and can be prone to elaborate a story, so you have to be prepared to step in politely and invite them to continue to speak, perhaps at the wake. So to sum up, do speak about a military career if appropriate, early life work, and speak about a work progression. Mention major achievements, special workplace memories, and, if you wish, invite colleagues to speak. Try not to list times, dates, places, and lots of job titles. And try not to be negative. While it is wonderful to remember the times when the person was brave in difficult situations, it's often better to say a few positive things about a situation than to list all the sad times, redundancies and closures. If you do allow a colleague to take over, try to keep them to a timescale. So far we've covered a person's early life, their family life, brothers and sisters, education, further education, military career, and working life. And in our next video, we will look at family life. Thank you for joining me.